So I want to go over a list of some of the least impactful ultimates in the entirety of Overwatch. Now, what I need to preface is that most ultimates are great. They do a lot of things. They are ultimate abilities. So they're not bad, but these are just the ones that I thought fit a list of lower impact ults. Also, some characters don't always need super high impact ults if they're able to build them quickly or their kit is strong enough and built around that ult in a healthy way. As well as, I might have a slight bias towards a different rank range as I am a high masters GM peak support player, so I sort of would have that bias. Right, lower ranks might have a very different opinion. The top ranks might have a very different opinion as well. There's also not any particular order for this. So let's jump right in. First off, I have Reaper. Reaper is Death Blossom. And now Death Blossom, cool ult, but I do think it is extremely outdated and doesn't really get that much value anymore. There is so much mobility and burst healing in the game that this ult is very difficult to fully die to because it's very easy to kite out or dodge away with any mobility, as well as just heal through it. We're kind of locked in a small little radius. Yeah, you can move and you can crouch, and if you use cover well, it can be pretty good, but it's very difficult to get that full value. It's really just good at clearing a really tight space, and so most maps don't even allow for that to happen, and a lot of people would never even contest Reaper in those circumstances anyway. It's also a fairly predictable ult because you have to really set up in front of someone's face to even get it off in the first place. I also think not being able to cancel it is an issue. I think if you could pop it and then press Q again to cancel the ult, it would be far greater, because there's a lot of times where I might pop it just to finish off someone who's, I headshot them and then I just quickly popped it to make sure I secure that kill because I ran out of bullets or something, but then I want to cancel it right away, but I'm left there in the open as a free target, unable to really dodge. As the game has gone older, because obviously this character is like 10 years old now, most players have learned to predict the ult, avoid the ult, and just know what to do about it. Most of the kills come from scenarios that we're kind of winning already. Like that one I said earlier, where if I've already, have hit a nice shot on someone and I just push into the bin ult, it's more of a finish to the kill. It's a less definitive that ult was even necessary, but it's really its only circumstance. It takes longer to put someone down to 0 health than you'd think. In 5v5 Overwatch, that is fairly long. I mean, there's so much burst healing, there's so much mobility, there's so much damage that this ult just does struggle now. And like I said earlier, some maps and team comps can really affect this ult and make it bad, but they can also make it strong. If you have Lucio, Speed Boost, and Zarya, the value of those abilities on Reaper with his ult is extreme. It's extremely strong. But then without those resources, it is a lot weaker, which makes it a odd ult to either balance for or to play around, because different resources can greatly affect the value the ult gets. Next I want to do Vendetta. Vendetta Sundering Blade. I think it can get a lot of value into stopping pushes from enemies. So when people Kitsune in, you can kind of ult around the corner. So I'll pretend to do that, say they were Kitsune up this little hall. I could be around here and charge it up. This is really the best way of using the ult, is to just kind of jiggle a wall like that and peek it. But as you can see, the range isn't that massive and you have to be fairly precise with it. So it's pretty easy to dodge, and it's pretty easy to just kill Vendetta during it because there's a pretty big wind up, and she has nano or some sort of damage boost going on. It can be very easy to stop her. At a lot of lower rank, there's probably the thing where you fly the way up in the air and you're just a free target, you're just dead. And it's quite easy sometimes just to miss because of geometry, the way the map's designed. I think charged ults are pretty odd in Overwatch, especially, 5v5's nature. I think ults need to be a little more quicker and instantaneous, especially on a character that's, melee focused and is meant to be a little quicker, a little more in your face the whole time. The idea of swinging, trying to fight someone, and then anger. If it feels a bit odd, I feel like it would honestly be easier just to have a quick instant cast of it and then just finish the person off with overhead. But I don't think it's terrible, but I just feel it's very inconsistent. It's pretty easy to play around, and I very rarely feel like I can only think of maybe 1 or 2 times I've died to Vendetta ult. It's fairly easy to dodge, fairly easy to predict, especially horizontally. Because she can't move horizontally, you can just walk backwards and it won't reach you. You can just kite it very quick, and if you've got speed, like how most a lot of Overwatch is played with speed, you can then re-engage very quickly. Now I got an ult one here, Baptiste Amplification Matrix. I feel like this ult is really good on paper. Like, I actually think this has a lot of potential because, you know, you sort of set up on an angle, you quickly pop it, and you can just delete someone, right? But I feel, I don't like, you know, always bring this up, but I feel in 5v5 Overwatch, speed, angles, and dueling are just so much stronger and so much more potent that it's really tough to get this ult off in any meaningful way. Bap is quite slow. He's not very quick. His range isn't amazing, so his ability to hold strong angles is tough. He has to be a little closer, which makes him very vulnerable because he obviously doesn't have mobility. Characters that usually have to play closer require a bit more mobility to be able to get out. This didn't matter as much when you had like an off tank and a main tank in your game, because your off tank was supposed to soak up some of that pressure, but that's why Baptiste has been struggling. So Baptiste has been struggling, which makes his ult a little less impactful. So let me get on to why the ult kind of sucks. It's very easy to kite and avoid. It is very easy just to walk backwards to the side, or even if you have like a Lucio speed boost, or even Juno speed boost, you can just walk through it. Or Diva, like Diva can just fly right on a Matrix, with Matrix into Matrix. Sorry, these are two Matrixes. DM into Amplification and just eat everything and then kill the Bap. Some maps can be really good, like really linear straight maps. Like I'm thinking like Circuit can work really well for the ult, but most of the time it's far too static to get enough value in 5v5. It just is. And you also can't really kill any of the tanks, which obviously, you know, it's not always a problem, but it just means the people that you're going for are typically the more mobile ones that can actually kill you and stuff. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what that point actually is. Yeah. Overall, ult is very static. He's a rough character in the way the game currently plays. Very easy to kite the ult, very easy just to push through him. Any tank realistically has enough mitigation to just push him off of Matrix. So yeah. Okay, I don't know how this ult's been affecting people in all ranks or whatever, but Sierra's kind of doggy doo-doo. So yeah, her ult feels like it would be pretty gross in low ranks. So people will have to, you know, let me know about that. But basically, shoot the drone, and then it pops. And again, you know, a bit consistent with the other ones. The way the game works nowadays, these types of ults are pretty easy to dodge. You saw how, like, long it took for the ult to go off. You have a good few seconds, even, just to walk out of it, or use a single movement cooldown, or Suzu, or something like that, and you can just dodge. It does do a ridiculous amount of damage, so I will admit it does do a lot of damage, but at the same time, far too much time to react. I already feel threatened by this ult. I just feel, by design, it just doesn't really do much. There's not that many specifics going wrong for it, like the previous ults I said. This one it's just a small area of effect that is very easy to evade. The only time this would be good is in a Zarya grab, maybe a Rhine shatter, or something like that. Or very congested spaces. Because, I mean, again, there are scenarios where every ult can get value, so of course this can, if the map allows for it and the team comp allows for it and the situation allows for it. But generally speaking, I feel like this ult is very underwhelming and not very threatening. Alright, this is the last one. Don't know if this is a hot take or not, but Hanzo. Dragon Strike. I don't know if you're noticing a theme here, but static, I call this static because it is a predictable movement in a straight line. It's not technically static, but yeah, static, predictable ults just don't really function with the way the game plays. They just don't. This ult, I think, is also extremely easy to dodge. Ridiculously easy to dodge. And if you're caught in it for even a few seconds, you can very easily just get burst healed out of it. And yeah, this ult just feels outdated. I just feel this ult does not do nearly as much as any other one seems to do. I am yet in the last year or so to see someone die to Dragon Strike. That wasn't just like completely the stupidest death ever, like an actual just like well-placed Dragon Strike that killed someone. It's just, you have a very good amount of time to get away from this thing. It's a weird ult. I don't think it functions that well, and again, it's possibly just a 5v5 thing where everyone is far more spread out. It definitely is a 5v5 thing. Everyone is far more spread out. You're taking way more, like, it's not even just spread out. You have less people, so when you're taking all this space, all these angles, you kind of have people dotted around. It's very easy. It's very hard to place a Dragon Strike well because there's just so much space being taken and so many angles being fought for that this doesn't matter nearly as much. And its best thing is sort of just clearing out a little bit of space that you can take that space yourself. But there are abilities that do that as well. So maybe not worth an ultimate. That's the list. Again, always feel free to disagree. And I want to know some perspective from other ranks, of course, because I think lower ranks will find they'll find ults like Sierra more strong. They'll think this ult's broken in those ranks, but they might think Sim Wall is the worst ult in the game. But the higher you go, the more value Sim Wall gets. There's a lot of different variables to take into account, and I didn't want to think about every variable because that's just impossible. So I just thought, here's my game, from my experience. These are the lowest impact ults in my day-to-day game. So yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out.